James Harden getting traded to the Brooklyn Nets marks the end of an era. While superstar movement has been common for at least the past decade, the period between June of 2018 and January of 2021 was more unpredictable than any in NBA history. 5 of the 7 active MVPs changed teams, and some did more than once. Half of the participants in the 2018 All-Star Game have moved, and much of that movement was concentrated at the top of the league. What is up for the coming trading season? We wanted to know more, so we put out our feelers. These are the NBA trade rumors you need to know about for the 2021-2022 season. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. Bradley Beal. Beal is one of the more obvious names here. The Wizards are 3-8 and have missed the past 2 postseasons. He has openly complained about his team's defense and how it continually manages to waste his best individual games. His contract lasts only through the 2021-22 season, and after giving up a first-round pick to acquire Russell Westbrook, the Wizards are incentivized to get as much back for Beal as possible to help ensure a smooth rebuild. Nothing they've said or done to this point indicates a willingness to deal their star shooting guard, but history says that if the Wizards don't turn things around soon, Beal will probably force the issue. What is more open to speculation, though, is what impact Beal's potential availability had on the Harden sweepstakes. Brooklyn paid a premium for Harden, and justifiably so. He is a better player than Beal, but he's 5 years older and much more difficult to fit within a typical contending roster. Offenses need to be constructed around Harden. Beal can fit within any offensive construction. Philadelphia is willing to give up Ben Simmons in a deal for Harden, but haggled over Tyrese Maxey. Miami bowed out early in the process, according to multiple reports, but they have reportedly coveted Beal for quite some time. Both teams have physically big men in their 20s. Might they prefer to pair those big men with the 26-year-old Beal to the 31-year-old Harden? We won't know for certain until Beal becomes available. For now, what we can say is that reports throughout the process suggested that Houston was not interested in Brooklyn's offer for Harden. That they eventually took it likely means that other teams with preferable packages just didn't offer what the Rockets expected them to. Beal is the simplest answer as to why. Multiple teams kept their powder dry in the Harden sweepstakes, and without an obvious follower to Beal on the star market, it's almost impossible to deny his impact on the Harden trade. Miles Turner. Lately, mentioning the playoffs and the New York Knicks in the same sentence has fallen out of habit. After 7 consecutive seasons below 500, the almighty Knicks are back where they belong, challenging for the postseason. It has been quite the surprising season for Tom Thibodeau's team so far. After filling the roster with quality role players in the offseason, the Knicks have been solidly sitting at a playoff spot for quite some time now through their hard work and effort. Their starting center, Mitchell Robinson, has been out for a few weeks now and will likely miss a few more due to a hand injury. They have done a fine job replacing him, though his injury-prone knees might not be able to sustain those minutes for long. The Knicks have been surrounded by trade rumors regarding many centers around the league. A player that seems to fit the team's playstyle perfectly is Miles Turner. Despite leading the league in blocks, Turner has not helped the underperforming Indiana Pacers win as they fail to approach the playoff spots. The New York Knicks are amongst the many teams that have expressed interest in potentially trading for Turner. Without a doubt, a huge pickup, Turner is bound to be a valuable asset to any team that wishes to compete for the playoffs. Turner and Robinson share quite a few similarities, though Turner's ability to shoot the three-pointer better than most centers would instantly get him the starting spot. He's a defensive-minded player and somebody Thibodeau would love to have on his team. Kyle Lowry. The 2-8 Raptors have no reason not to consider trading Lowry if they continue to lose. Aside from the fact that he is 34 and on an expiring contract, they have the cap space to re-sign him this offseason even after a trade if both sides were interested. For them, dealing Lowry could be as simple as getting assets to give up on the season and trying again next year. But moving Lowry comes with its own set of hurdles, especially after the somewhat callous, albeit correct decision to trade DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard. Lowry is the most accomplished player in franchise history. He is utterly beloved by Raptors fans, and trading him would likely be even harder on them than the DeRozan deal was, as Lowry would not net a player of Kawhi's caliber in return. If Masai Ujiri does decide to deal him, it would likely have to be to a team of Lowry's choosing to avoid backlash. That points to Philadelphia, Lowry's hometown team and a franchise long considered to be a point guard short of championship contention. Reports linked Lowry to the 76ers when he was a free agent in 2017, and Philadelphia could muster enough salary filler between former Raptor Danny Green, Terrence Ferguson, and Mike Scott to get a deal done. But what would they give up in terms of value? Are draft picks enough? Maxey is almost certainly off the table. Matisse Thybulle likely is as well. Beyond the 76ers, there isn't an obvious fit. Lowry does not need to chase a ring. The Clippers would love to reunite him with Kawhi, but lack the assets and the contracts to make a deal. Miami, like Philadelphia, could be hoarding assets for an eventual Beal pursuit. If Lowry wants a deal, it's safe to say he can get one, but finding a team that works for both him and the Raptors won't be easy. Victor Oladipo. Perhaps the most talked about potential trade of this season, the Miami Heat have been flirting with the idea of trading for Victor Oladipo for quite some time now. This, to be honest, seems like a great deal to pursue. After a stellar playoff run last season that ended in an NBA Finals defeat, the Miami Heat started off off their 2020-2021 campaign surprisingly poorly. They have, however, picked up the tempo and are now sitting fourth in the Eastern Conference thanks to Jimmy Butler's remarkable performances. Victor Oladipo certainly fits the Heat culture and could gel with the team immediately. Eric Spoelstra's defensive-minded play style is one that Oladipo has brought with him all along during the course of his career. Oladipo is on an expiring contract, meaning that any team that wishes to take a late flyer on him might be left empty-handed in a few months. Luckily, the Heat have luck on their side, as it is believed that Oladipo himself wants to end up in Miami one way or another. When you're a smoothly functioning team, you rarely take the risk of ruining the team's success by trading for big-name players. In that case, though, trading for Oladipo could give Butler the wing partner that best suits his play style. Karl Anthony Towns. Minnesota is probably still building around Towns in an effort to convince him to remain with the Timberwolves for life. They have even traded what now appears to be two premium assets, the revitalized Andrew Wiggins and their own 2021 first-round pick, to secure Towns' close friend D'Angelo Russell. In the 5 stages of losing a superstar, this would qualify as denial. Neither Russell nor number 1 overall pick Anthony Edwards has stood out thus far, and while Minnesota's 3-8 record is hardly representative considering Towns' early season injury, their 28th ranked defense isn't going to improve. Towns is under contract for 3 seasons beyond this one, but that's nothing in the grand scheme of superstar deals. Harden and Paul George both forced their way out with 2 years left, and if Minnesota continues losing, the end of next season will likely be the unofficial beginning of the Towns sweepstakes. The usual suspects will likely be involved. If Miami hasn't found a superstar by then, the Heat will make their inevitable offer. The pit quarters like New Orleans and Oklahoma City may be ready to act by then as well. The Suns will likely open the bidding as favorites considering Towns' friendship with college teammate Devin Booker and the presence of a ready-made replacement in DeAndre Ayton. But this far out, too much can change for anything to be deemed particularly likely. New suitors will emerge and existing ones will drop out, but eventually Minnesota is going to have to reckon with the fact that it has taken Towns to the playoffs only once, and that isn't likely to change in the near future. Eventually his patience is going to run out. Zach LaVine. LaVine is having the best, most complete season of his career and deserved his all-star spot. Given that he's 25 years old and under contract until 2022, the Bulls should not be in a hurry to trade him. We're just a couple months removed, however, from LaVine and the front office failing to agree to a contract extension. If Chicago wants to play the long game, it could still potentially sell extremely high on LaVine, move its veterans, more on them later, and take itself out of the short-term playoff picture. Seems much less likely now. Time will tell, though. That is our most important list of trades we suspect or have confirmed will happen this year. What are your thoughts? Do you have any other predictions? Feel free to leave a comment. We hope to see you back again. Till next time, stay safe.